Hi everyone. In this video, I'm going to answer which one is the best stock to buy. Is it Chargepoint or is it Ford? Now that both of these companies have reported their latest earnings results and I've had a chance to go through those earnings, I can now compare these two and answer which one of these two is the best stock to buy. So let's begin. Starting with ChargePoint, which revenue increased nearly doubled to 153 million, up from 79 million in its latest quarter. The net loss worsened to 78 million year over year, up from 60 million in the same quarter the prior year. Management is forecasting the next quarter revenue of 127 million, which would be an increase of 56% year over year. Now, the company, of course, is growing rapidly, and management is forecasting revenue of 2.1 billion in fiscal year 2025. So that's going to be a huge increase from where it is now. The company is losing a lot of money in terms of cash flow and bottom line profits, but the prospects in terms of growth are massive. Compare that to Ford, which total net revenue increased by 20% in the most recent quarter to 41.5 billion, and earnings per share soared by 66% to 63 cents. Now, Ford is benefiting from increased demand for its legacy cars, and that's providing the company with earnings and cash flow. It can now invest in the growth of its electric vehicle business, which is on schedule to produce 500,000 electric trucks per year starting in 2025. So it's not like Ford is going to be stuck in the old style car company. It too is benefiting from the rise of electric vehicles, just as ChargePoint is. Ford is forecasting 2023 operating income of $10 billion at the midpoint and free cash flow of $6 billion. Ford is likely to continue benefiting from this pent-up consumer demand for vehicles and cars and trucks because there were significant supply chain shortages for the last 2 to 3 years that are still persisting. They're still persisting. It's not like the supply chain shortages are completely back to normal. They're not as bad as they were earlier in the pandemic, but there's still supply chain shortages, and you can't get the same things that you were able to buy before the outbreak. You're seeing that, they're not available in the quantities that people are used to. So people are willing and have been buying cars at higher than sticker prices or above, or at sticker prices, when usually you're used to going to a dealership and negotiating for a lower price. That hasn't been the case. Dealerships have been able to sell these cars at above average asking prices, and that's likely to persist at least through the next few months and maybe throughout the rest of this year. So I wanted to also compare these two stocks on valuation, and looking at the forward price to sales ratio, ChargePoint stock is trading at more than or roughly 10 times the price of Ford in terms of the forward price to sales ratio, and that's because what we noticed earlier, ChargePoint has much greater growth prospects than Ford. Ford is not likely to grow revenue at anywhere near the rate of ChargePoint over the next 3, 5, 8, even 10 years. ChargePoint is likely to grow much, much faster. Although Ford is likely to generate much better profits and cash flow compared to ChargePoint during those same time frames that I mentioned earlier. So if I had to pick one of these two growth stocks or one of these two stocks to buy now, I would pick Ford. I would pick Ford for a couple of reasons. Namely, that I am actually prioritizing companies with proven profits and cash flow right now. Given the uncertain economic environment, I'm more inclined to invest in companies that have stable and proven profits and cash flow. That might be different 6 months from now. If the macroeconomic environment changes, I might be looking to shift towards more growth prospect stocks and prioritize growth prospects over near-term profitability. But for now, I'm prioritizing profits and cash flow, which is the main reason why I would buy Ford stock instead of Chargepoint stock right now. Okay, that's all I've got for this video. Thank you so much for watching. I want to thank the Motley Fool for sponsoring this video. Visit fool.com/Parkev for the 10 best stocks to buy now.